But first, we are on the go with Joe. Good morning, Joe.
Well, Pete and Kim, good morning. Right now, I'm holding a replica of a 300,000-year-old spear on the Portland State University campus. The reason why, we're telling you about a special event that's all about archaeology. And that's coming up next on Good Day Oregon. First, live, local.
We are on the go with Joe, and today he is unleashing his inner Indiana Jones.
Joe's learning all about archaeology, the special event hosted by Portland State University. He is live on the PSU campus to tell us more. Good morning, Joe.
Yeah, good morning, Pete and Kim. Sadly, I left the fedora and the bullwhip back at home. But I got to say, someone who's looking like a real archaeologist right here is Professor Virginia Butler with Portland State University. Good morning. How are you?
Hello, Joe.
Thank you for joining us today. And we're getting ready for the PSU Archaeology Roadshow. Now, we've got a number of interesting artifacts. This is an old spear, at least a replica of one. These are examples of the kind of things people can see tomorrow. It's a public event. What exactly is the Archaeology Roadshow?
Well, this is basically a living museum where we're going to have about 40 exhibits represented by tribes, federal agencies, local companies to share what we know about archaeology with the public.
And it's kind of interactive. You're calling this the archaeology of food. Explain that to me.
Exactly. So we're piggybacking with the Portland Farmers Market, which is happening about 2 blocks that way.
A spear's throw away.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And we wanted to share what we know about the past and food with people that come. So we're going to have some native fish that is smoked and prepared, and we're also going to have some local beer that we can explore the archaeology of.
And real quickly, if people have items, it's kind of like the Antique Roadshow. If they have objects at home that they've always wondered about, they can bring them in here and kind of get expert analysis.
Exactly. We're going to have a team of 8 experts, including Wes Cowan, formerly of Antiques Roadshow, come. They're going to be here to look at artifacts that people bring and tell people something about them.
There's a story behind this. We'll explain that a little bit later in the show. But again, what are the times at 10 to 3 tomorrow right here?
It's from 10 to 3, and we are in what we call the Walk of the Heroines at Portland State Campus.
Okay, fantastic. Professor Butler, thank you so much. I appreciate it. So, guys, we're going to show you some of the things she's talking about. We're going to demonstrate some old weapons. We're even going to sample some of that old beer. So beer and weapons mixed together. What could possibly go wrong? Lots more to come from the PSU Archaeology Roadshow a little bit later in the show, guys. Back to you in the studio.
Oh, sounds like an interesting morning. We are on the go with Joe, and today he is getting an up-close look at thousands of years of Oregon history. He's here live to tell us about a special event at Portland State University. Good morning, Joe.
Good morning, Kim. It's called the PSU Archaeology Roadshow. Takes place tomorrow. And one of the many things you can see is Terry Osbun. He's doing a little demonstration for us right here. He'll be doing them tomorrow as well. The theme of the roadshow is the archaeology of food. So learning how people, especially in the Northwest, but really throughout the world, gathered food, how they ate, how they drank. And right now, you're demonstrating something that this is an item that people would have used in hunting, right? What are you doing right here, Terry?
Right. I'm making little flake tools out of obsidian, which is a volcanic glass from Central Oregon.
Okay. So basically, this stuff, you're breaking it off with a rock there, is what would be formed into what these kind of like arrowhead-looking things or spearhead things?
Darts and spear points, as well as the little arrow points.
Can I try what you're doing here?
Certainly.
So essentially, you take this, it's a volcanic glass obsidian, you said, and you just, you kind of, going to try to emulate what you were doing there.
Tilt the core down a little bit. There you go.
And then you just want to strike it just right, okay?
Right on the edge. Right.
Oh, my.
Tilt it down a little bit.
Oh, wow. Nice. Okay. And that stuff is pretty...
Tilt it down a little bit more. There you go. Tilt it down.
Well, I got one piece. That stuff, though, is really sharp that eventually will be turned into hunting tools. Now, again, this is one of the many interactive demonstrations that you can see tomorrow. It's from 10 to 3 next to Stott Field. It's just a block away from the Portland Farmers Market, so you can come check that out. And I just, real quickly, we can show kind of how sharp this is. Do you want to do the honors here? So this is a piece of leather. So we're just going to pull that tight. And if you want to see how sharp that stuff is, that's the one I broke off. So, I mean, look at that. Just right at like butter. I love it.
Right.
So, again, some cool stuff that you can learn and experience right here. Thank you very much, Terry. I appreciate it. I'll let you put that down before I shake your hand.
All right.
I appreciate it. But, Kim, more cool stuff we're going to show you from the Archaeology Roadshow in just a bit. Back to you in the studio.
Well, I really love it. All right, Joe, thank you very much.
Move over Indiana Jones. Today, Joe V is learning all about archaeology. He's here live to tell us about a special event at Portland State University. You don't have that bullwhip with you, do you?
Not handy, Pete. Thank you very much. But we do have some cool stuff to show you coming up next. We're going to talk about how people lived in Oregon years and years and years ago at an interactive event called the Archaeology Roadshow right here at Portland State University. That's coming up next on Good Day Oregon. First, live local.
We are on the go with Joe this morning, and today he's learning all about the history of Oregon from its first people right down to its first beers. He's here live to tell us about a special event hosted by Portland State University. Joe?
Yeah, good morning, Pete. So it's the Archaeology Roadshow here at PSU. The theme this year is the archaeology of food. So they've got a number of interactive items where you can try food as made by native tribes. You can try beer as it would have been made a couple hundred years ago. Back here with Professor Virginia Butler once again. And then in the model of the Antique Roadshow, you have a part of it where people can bring in items that they've procured. Maybe it was handed down to them, maybe something they found, and you're going to have experts that can tell them if it is something historic or not, right?
Exactly. We sometimes get people that bring in things that are like this object that has a good feel to it. I mean, I like the way it feels in my hand. And they'll say, tell me about this. And I'll say, well, it's very interesting, but it's not an artifact.
Okay. It's a rock.
It's a rock.
It's a nice rock. This rock-looking object is a rock, but sometimes a rock is not just a rock.
Exactly.
So, for instance, this and this, these are both items that you think, or you know, I guess, were something that were used by humans thousands of years ago.
This one has been drilled, and it was used as a net weight. So it was held, a net would have been held down, and fish that were coming upstream would have been caught in the net. This would have been used to ground up nuts or different kinds of seeds, and it has a kind of shape to it and a feel that tells us that this absolutely is an artifact.
There you go. So again, if you've got random items like these, just rocks maybe in your backyard, bring them in, hear from the experts. And not only that, a number of interactive exhibits, and it's for all ages. They got areas for kids. As you said, you can sample some food, some even beer. It's from 10 to 3 tomorrow right here on the PSU campus, just a block away from the Portland Farmers Market. Professor Butler, thank you so much. I do appreciate it.
Thanks.
And Pete, we are going to have more coming your way in just a bit. Back to you in the studio.
Okay, lots to learn, Joe. Thank you.
First, let's check back in with Joe V., who's giving us quite an education this morning. Hi, Joe.
Yeah. Good morning, Kim. Yes, we're telling you about an event where you learn about everything from old bones to old beer. I'll tell you about the Portland State University Archaeology Roadshow coming up on Good Day Oregon. First, live, local.
Much today, Joe V. is enrolling at a special event at Portland State University. He's here live to tell us more about the school's Archaeology Roadshow. Joe.
Yeah, good morning, Pete. We're headed back to school today to learn about a very cool event. Archaeology, everything from old food to old bones to even old beer. I'll explain next, coming up on Good Day Oregon. First, live, local.
We are on the go with Joe, and today he is unleashing his inner Indiana Jones. He's learning all about archaeology at a special event hosted by Portland State University. He joins us live from the Portland State University campus with the details. Joe, what's going on?
Well, good morning, Pete. So, yeah, we've been learning about this event. It's called the PSU Archaeology Roadshow. They've been doing it for, this is a 4th year now, and it's a big interactive event to the public. You come out, there's lots of different areas. Now, the theme this year is called the archaeology of food. So you can, among other things, learn about how they captured food thousands of years ago. You can sample foods from, native tribes and that sort of thing. And we're even going to talk beer. That's where Eric Steen comes in. Good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Great. Eric is with Hopworks Urban Brewery, and he's going to pour us a little something of what you guys are going to be bringing out here tomorrow. Because beer, and I didn't realize how old beer has been around. I was just asking, beers, it's estimated, been around for about 9,500 years. I mean, millennia. The beer's been around. So what you guys did is you created kind of a historic beer. I mean, Portland being Beervana, you guys being very well known, but tell me about the beer that you created.
Yeah, so it's not thousands of years old, but it is from a recipe based in 1883. It's a pre-Prohibition lager. And we worked with the Oregon Hops and Brewing Archives down in Corvallis. And they did some research to find a lager recipe that used rice, and so we created this.
So yeah, we've got some of the ingredients. I mean, tell me about what you put in this thing here. So these are just what, typical grains that you use in beer?
Those are grains, and these are hops,
obviously.
here.
But you said the X factor is rice. It's not something you see in a lot of beers made these days.
Correct.
So how does that change the flavor, the smell, all the aspects of the beer?
Yeah, in most cases, rice is going to lighten up the mouthfeel and the texture of the beer. And in this case, because of the malting practices of the 19th century, it's also going to add some toast flavor, earthy flavor, and perhaps some roasted nut flavor.
Now, you're not going to be getting pint-sized samples here. They're going to come in these things, but may I pour one for myself?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, but you can try that. And then you were telling me this is something that you're going to be debuting at the Archaeology Roadshow, but then you're actually going to be selling it, right? Tell us about that.
That's right. It'll be on tap at both our Powell Brew Pub and at Bike Bar beginning next week.
Okay, and the PSU Archaeology Roadshow, again, that's right here on the PSU campus next to Stotts Field. It's just a block away from where the Portland Farmers Market is, so you can hit both events. Again, that's tomorrow from 10 to 3. Thank you very much, sir. Cheers. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Pete, we're going to have a lot more coming up a little bit later in the show. Education and beer, it's like I am back in college. Let's send it back to you in the studio.
Oh, man, sign me up for a doctorate. Thanks so much, Joe.
Move over, Indiana Jones. Today, Joe V is learning all about archaeology. He's here now live to tell us about a special event at Portland State University. Hi, Joe.
Yeah, good morning, Kim. We're back here learning about the PSU Archaeology Roadshow. And coming up next, we're going to attempt to dig something up that's pretty cool. Coming up on Good Day Oregon, first live local.
We are on the go with Joe, and today he is getting an up-close look at thousands of years of Oregon history. He is live to tell us more about a special event at Portland State University. Lots to learn, Joe, if you dig deep enough.
Yeah. And speaking of digging, that's what Mike Ednire is doing right now. We're getting ready for the Portland State University Archaeology Roadshow. So there's all sorts of different interactive areas. We talked about the archaeology of food a little bit earlier, the archaeology of beer, if you can believe that. And then, Mike, you have this. This is going to be an area that kids can work around in tomorrow. This is called, you call it a boxcavation. What is a boxcavation?
Right. So a boxcavation is a burial of a complete skeleton that's been sitting here for at least a year. We've found over the years that lots of people want to dig in a real archaeological site. And most times we really can't do that. Archaeological sites are a non-renewable resource. When we dig them up, we destroy them. So this gives us an opportunity to have training opportunities for kids of all ages to dig a real skeleton in a real burial situation.
And not only that, it serves a purpose as well, right? I mean, it's not like the thing where you bury some things in a sandbox. There's a reason you do it.
Absolutely. We are always on the lookout for more clean reference skeletons to have in our research collections, and this results in really clean skeletons. So
these bones are in here for 1 calendar year.
Yeah,
I mean,
for a whole year, sometimes for 2. So
sit there for a year. It gets all the other kind of biological matter off of it.
Yep.
So when we find it,
perfectly clean bones,
it's going to be
like
clean.
This.
So we're unearthing something right here. Now walk me through the process, because I'm guessing when you're doing a dig, you want to make sure you don't break anything.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So whether we're digging a box excavation or a real archaeological site, context is everything. If we don't know where something came from, it's completely useless for a scientific purpose. So we try and emulate that in our digs. We try and keep all the bones in their articulated positions and nice and clean.
And we've got something coming up right here. Now, you know what you've put in here.
Right.
So
this particular example is, this is the neck vertebra, the neck bones from a harbor seal.
Okay.
And the work that I do on the Pacific coast, we find a lot of harbor seal bones in our archaeological sites, so it's good to have lots of clean skeletons.
Now, can we take one of these guys out, or is it...
Well, we can. Let me just...
yeah.
We try to avoid doing this too much in the field, because if there's something under there that this is connected to, then we lose that information.
Well, the neck bone is connected to the backbone, which is connected to the hip bone.
Exactly. We can sing the whole song.
Okay. But, folks, the PSU Archaeology Roadshow, again, it's going to take place from 10 to 3 tomorrow right here on the PSU campus. It's just about a block away from where they hold the Portland Farmers Market, so you can check out both events. Again, the archaeology of food, come down, check it out. Mike, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
It was fun digging with you.
Come down and find out what's in the box.
Appreciate it. And Pete, we are going to have more coming up in just a bit. We're actually going to go big game hunting here on the PSU PSU campus in about 15 minutes. Back to you in the studio.
That sounds very exciting. Quite the adventure there, Joe. Thank you. 8:26 now. Just ahead on Good Day Oregon, Joe V is enrolling in a special event at Portland State University.
Yeah, he's here now live to tell us more about the school's Archaeology Roadshow. Joe?
Yeah, Pete and Kim, thank you very much. Choose your weapon. Coming up next, we're going to tell you about how we're on the hunt for knowledge here at the PSU Archaeology Roadshow on Good Day Oregon. First, live, local, direct hit.
Right now, we're on the go with Joe, and today he's learning all about the history of Oregon from its first people down to its first beers.
He's here now live to tell us about a special event hosted by Portland State University. Good morning once again, Joe.
Morning, guys. It's been quite the education today, getting ready for the PSU Archaeology Roadshow, which will take place tomorrow from 10 to 3 right here. As we've been showing you, there's a number of interactive areas. You can sample the native foods, even beers, ancient beers that you can sample here. They're learning about the archaeology of food. Now, this is Ainan Raymond. He's with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. Good morning. How are you, sir?
I'm great. Thank you.
And he's an archaeologist as well, and we're going to learn about how people caught their food, I guess, back in the day. Now, what I'm holding right here, this is pretty interesting. This is a replica of a spear that was found in Germany about 300,000 years ago, what may have been the first weapon mankind ever used. What you have right there was pretty much the next step in weapons, right?
That's
What
right.
is this?
This is the atlatl.
Okay.
This is the dart, also known as the spear and the spear thrower.
All right.
The atlatl, or spear thrower, was designed to fling a dart at high velocity towards its target.
Okay, let's see it. Now, I do want to point this out. Ainan, in our little teaser before we went to break, he hit that bear right there in the heart. So he does know how to shoot it. But the cool thing is...
You want to try?
I will try, because as I understand it, there's going to be an interactive station this weekend, right?
You bet.
People can... Atlatl, is that how we pronounce it?
That's correct.
So you can try out your atlatl skills. So, it's not every day you see a giant grizzly bear on the PSU campus. When you do, please make sure you have your atlatl handy. All right. So you said I kind of throw it like a football almost.
Exactly.
Right? All right.
Arm back, up over your head.
All right.
Let her fling.
Oh, geez.
Ow.
Okay,
Try
not so
again.
much. All right. We got to reload, which probably isn't a great idea when you got a rampaging grizzly, but nonetheless,
There you go.
We'll reload.
You're about
you should
to become
probably
lunch.
Yeah.
I was going to say,
Grizzly
the event
bait.
itself, guys, is 10 to 3 right here at the PSU campus.
Arm back.
For more info, just go to kptv.com. All right, let's make this one count.
Oh, almost. One more try.
That much. We're almost out of time here.
Yeah.
But there you go, guys. The PSU Archaeology Roadshow from 10 to 3. Thank you very much, Ainan. I appreciate it. And again, the theme, the archaeology of food. And I think if there's one thing we learned, it's I would have wound up as food.
Exactly.
A couple thousand years ago.
You look like
Back
you're playing darts at the local pub there.
It's been a great morning. I just love that interactive exhibit stuff.
Yeah.
You learn so much more by doing that stuff hands-on.
So much more than you would just
Awesome.
looking at something or reading about it in a book.